Hey guys, Mike here. Hey, we're going to spend a little time talking about these plans a little bit. It's going to be a two-part video series that I'm going to do. They kind of go together. I'd like to take some time and talk about a few things that we just have never addressed, and it has to do with some inconsistencies in the plans. I've had a lot of emails, questions, phone calls, and things. It's amazing when you get your name out there on the internet, how people kind of, boy, they really track you down. It's crazy. At any rate, there's a lot of people complaining. There's a lot of people that are like, man, you know, it doesn't say what kind of rivet to use and everything else. I want to address that. And like I say, it's going to take 2 videos to do that. So, let's just dive right in. We know that what's coming forward here is we're going to have to bend some gussets and we're going to have to rivet those together. Okay. The plans do not say what kind of rivet we're going to use. It doesn't talk about the material, the length, the width, the height, the type, anything. Okay. Now I will tell you that they are in here. You just got to know kind of how to look. It takes us kind of a unique way of looking at things to find that out, but they're here. They're here. There's nothing wrong with the plans. The plans are not flawed. The only flaw is the individual reading the plan. So let's take a look. I highlighted a couple things that talk about rivets, right? Now, if you look at there's 2 pages, okay, or 2 sections here for this tail. The only thing that's mentioned for rivet is I highlighted it right here. It says pop rivet in place, wrap around. That's it. That's it. Okay. Now, that's a stumbling block for certain people. For others, it's not. But we're going to get to that answer. That's what we're going to do today. Okay. The manual has the building manual with it. Okay. And we look under tail surfaces. What does it say? It says make aluminum gussets from 20 thousandths aluminum. Soft stock is okay. These are pop riveted to the tube and ribs. Okay. Pretty basic. Now, again, doesn't tell us what to use. No idea, right? Now, I like that. Anyone that knows me knows that I love these plans. Come hell or high water, I love them. Leonard Milholland wrote this manual, and I'm guessing most people who decide not to build this airplane who are really confused, they glaze right over this. And right here is your answer. Let's take a look. I highlighted what's really important, and this is how we figure out the rivets. The EAA has good books on wood and metal construction and many other manuals to aid builders. You must use great caution. Building your own ultralight is a privilege allowed by the FAA. The privilege was granted after the EAA and many others convinced the FAA that it can be a rich and rewarding process in which you can learn many skills. Building your own plane can be perfectly safe. However, you are cautioned to get help you need and have that work carefully inspected by other knowledgeable parties. Okay, that's our answer. That's how we figure out the rivets, okay? Now, I know you're probably thinking, you know, wow, it's not really the answer. Well, it is, okay? Times have changed. You have to understand that. I mean, when you go back to the 20s, everyone's familiar with an airplane called a Pete and Pole. Take a look at those plans. There are things in there that are missing and not quite right. Numbers don't add up. This is no different. You know, Leonard kind of comes from an era where, I don't know, they called it the Great Generation, you know, and it's, man, the longer I live, the more I get to understand that. It truly is something else. You know, times have changed so much that our expectations as a group have really changed. You know, it's like, unless a set of plans weigh 300 pounds, have 200 pages, and every single thing on it perfect, someone's going to go online and complain. Somebody's going to find some reason, you know. I mean, it's crazy. I drew a timeline. I want to show you this because it is interesting how things have changed. You know, we talk about how to save aviation. We talk about all these things. But I mean, look at, if you were to draw a timeline, 1900 to 2015, and you're moving forward in time, back in 1900, most people, they could do anything. I mean, they just could. They figured it out. Their brains were trained that way. As we entered the 30s, we started separating blue-collar workers from white-collar workers. We still had a good chunk of that society in the 30s that were very skilled, very handy. As we move forward into the 60s, things, especially post-World War II, things rapidly started to change. Right around in the 90s, when you look at aircraft, you look at these plans, boy, it's amazing. I mean, these plans started looking really nice. They were drawn on CAD machines and all the answers were there. And more than just airplanes, society has really, really changed. You know, you go back to the Peyton pole, there's nothing wrong with that airplane. In fact, it's I think one of the best airplane designs out there. But that was from a different era, you know, and this airplane, the Legal Eagle, this goes back to kind of that era, okay? I have to stress this. If you go back here, if you were to look at this whole set of plans, the most important part is what's highlighted right here. You know, you have to give Leonard Milholland a lot of credit for this. It's quite genius. The whole idea is this is a privilege, right? The whole idea behind the EAA is it's about learning. It's about understanding. It's not about assembling. It's not about, I'm going to trust this person and I'm going to grab this material. The plan says this, just do it. You don't learn anything by that. These set of plans force you to learn. I mean, that's the genius in this. So when it comes to the rivet, well, this is our answer. We literally have to say to ourselves, hey, now's a chance for me to learn something. Now's a chance for me to explore this, to check it out, talk to the right people, you know. That's the fun part. And so we're gonna get into that. We're gonna study this. We're gonna study the rivets. We're gonna get our answer for exactly how we're gonna rivet this together. And so I'm going to move forward. This is part 1, and I'll jump to part 2.